All right, folks, I don't know what day we're up to on the nationwide coronavirus lockdown. It's, I don't know, a week into it, 10 days into it. I kind of lost track. Matter of fact, I had to think of what day it was the other day. Everything's kind of mushed together into just one kind of continuous day after day after day. This must be what it's like to be retired. I was talking to a friend of mine and I asked him, I said, so is this what it's like to be retired? You just kind of stumble along, not do a whole lot, kind of do what you want to? And he goes, yep, that's kind of what retirement is. The big difference is when you're retired, you get a check. I don't get a check right now. I am out of work. My work is gone from this. Should come back eventually. Who knows? It'll be several months. So I don't have any work. I'm unemployed officially. So my time is being spent creating content for you guys out here fishing, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to head down and try to put some catfish in the boat. We had about 2 inches of rain last night. Big line of rain came through and dumped just a lot. River should be stroking, it should be muddy, should be a lot of current, and I'm gonna take a little gamble and go fish some of that current and see if I can find some fish. I've got some crappie for bait and got some white perch for bait, so the crappie's primo bait right now coming into the pre-spawn time, so we'll see if we can stick a hook in one. All right, guys, boat's in the water. Water looks good here. Looks like there is some current coming down the river. Go out here, take a look around, see if we can find some fish. Probably the toughest decision I have to make when I get out here on the water is which way do I go from the boat ramp, left or right. Go up left, I'm going up river. I go down, I've got another river I can go up. I've got some flats. The river section has not been productive this year. Not caught a lot of fish there. It just hadn't been working out. So I may go there. At some point it's going to make a turn, and at some point it's going to turn on, and that's kind of what I'm banking on. Water temperature is right at 60 degrees, so it's not extremely cold. Not as warm as it was. It's about 10 degrees off its high, but still, that's seasonable temperatures. A little bit cool today, but we should have some water coming in. There's probably some muddy water up through here, so I'm going to make a run up through here and take a gamble on this first. So here's the battle plan. I got it here. I got anchored up. I got 6 rods out. There is some current. Water's a little bit stained up here. Not exactly muddy, but it's got some brown to it. I would assume a little further up the river there's going to be more. I'm at a creek mouth. I've got shoal to my left, river channel over here. Mark some arches on the edge of it. Not sure exactly what they are, but I'm going to let these baits soak here and just see if this current gets this scent spread around. I got nothing but crappie out right now. That is a good fish. That is a good fish. Sadly, he's on the side of the boat. That has a whole lot of structure on it. That's a good bite. Very good bite. Get him up here. Keep him above it. Not sure how he's going to react once he gets up here close to the boat. We'll see. Got a feeling this is a nettable fish. Clear the anchor. I think it's a flathead. He just took a dive when he got close. Oh, there he goes. Might be a flathead. Yes, sir. Hit it like a flathead. Tore the back end of that bait off, too. Ah. Nice flathead to kick the spring off with. We will take that. Easy, easy. Good fish, pretty one. Not a monster, but we'll take it. Good to have a flathead in the boat. I always love having one in the boat. Sir. Again, good looking fish. Get back alive. Well, there you go. The first flathead of the spring here. Coming up here anchored up in a little bit of current. After some rain, that one came off the deeper side of the boat. There's a bunch of structure down there, a bunch of debris and stuff. And luckily he stayed out of it and got him in. Took a big bait, a big piece of crappie. You know, the kind of bait you want to be putting out there. It was not live, it was a piece of cut bait. Actually broke off the back end of it bringing it in. So nice fish, good start. I'm going to keep looking for some of these fish. They're going to start showing up more and more as these water temperatures creep on up there and these fish become active. So maybe we can find another one of those, maybe another blue. We're just going to give this a little while, give it a good sit, and pick up, make a move, and do a little hole hopping. That is a good one. Let's see if he stayed. There we go. Kind of had him a little run going there. Now this one, total opposite of the last fish. This one is actually up shallow. Let's see if we can. Yep, there he is on that side. He made it run like a blue. Blues usually seem to make kind of a good little run. He took off. It's a beautiful thing about hooking a fish in shallow water. It's gonna go where it wants to go. Got to get away. I think I did get this over the line. Let's see if I can get it right. Oh, he's heavier than I thought. Oh. He's in this other line. I got to put this other line and free spooling on clicker. I think this is a nettable fish. He's acting like a flathead. See if I can see it. Nope, big blue. Big blue that is lassoed in some other lines. Got him. Got him. Man, he did get out of the line. I thought he was clear of it. That did not happen. We got a bit of a mess. If I can get this below all the fins and we can get him freed up here. Let's see. So this is where you just make things complicated. And it's free. Good looking blue cat. Nice fish. All right, that's fish number 2. That one came off the shallow side of the boat. A lot shallower water, probably about 4 feet, and came on a smaller piece of bait. So we got one out of deep water, we got one out of shallow water, one on big bait, one on small bait. Could be a sign they're feeding, could be a sign they're all over the place in here moving, especially with the water moving the way we got it through here, which is good. It's a little muddy, a little dingy looking. So confident, feeling good, 2 good fish. Finally nice to have a couple of double-digit fish after some of the tough fishing I've had lately. So it's like I've been saying, just got to keep at it, got to keep pounding, keep fishing. It's going to turn around, and when it turns around, it's going to be good. And so far, this is pretty good. Hopefully, there's some more hungry ones out here. We might have one going here, folks. I think he is going. Yep. Another one on the deep side. He was trying to sneak off with it. Slime cat rod, lose reel, power handle. Power handle's an add-on, aftermarket deal. Put you a link to it. You can get them on my Amazon affiliate account there on my website and down in the description section. Let's see if I can get him out of that. There's some debris down here. Trying to keep him out of that. Keep his head up. It's a much heavier fish than what I've caught so far. He's lumbering along like a flathead. Oh, he's wrapped. Dadgummit. It's just the blue that's wrapped. It's not really super big either. Dadgummit. But he's no little one. He doesn't break this line. It's 2 fish in a row that have come in that way. I missed my shot. Got him. Oh, yeah. Okay. Another one that took the bigger bait. Down there we go. Simmer down, simmer down. Oh yeah. Good fish in the teens. There we go. It's about a fish every 30 minutes is what it's working out to be. There we go. Getting all freed up. Looking blue. So I'm sitting here waiting on my next bite. It's been about 25 minutes since I caught my last fish. On average, I've been catching one about every 25 minutes. So it brings up a question I hear from a lot of people. How long do you sit somewhere when you're anchored up? Obviously, if you're drifting, you're moving around, but when you go anchor up, you're sitting in one place, you're waiting. And, you know, I hear that question all the time. How long do you sit in one spot? Well, I hate to give you it varies, but it does vary. Here's what I can tell you, and it does vary depending on where the lake I'm fishing. I'll tell you kind of my rules that I kind of go by, generally speaking, and you can make your own determination on how that applies to where you're fishing. If it is a good bite, a time when fish are biting, on into April, when the bite's on, fish are pre-spawn, they're around, they're feeding, I don't give a place too long. If I roll into a place and don't get bit within 30, 45 minutes, I'm up and moving. On the opposite end of that spectrum, there are some places that I go to in the wintertime where I park and sit and plan on being there for at least 90 minutes. Just because things are slow, the bite's not really that good, fish are not feeding that heavy. So there are times like that when, I just park and wait. There are some lakes like that that just, you have to put the baits out there and sit. But, you know, there's other places where if they're not biting, they're not going to be biting. Another rule of thumb is shallow water. Generally speaking, in shallow water, I don't give it a long time. Again, 30, 45 minutes. The fish are either there feeding or they're not. You can sit there all day and maybe a pack of them will come through and you'll catch some fish. But generally speaking, you're either on them or you're not. So I guess if I had to give you one answer, that kind of a fit-all answer, I would say 45 minutes. If I had to give you one answer that just kind of covered everything, I'd say 45 minutes. That's, you know, at most you wasted 15 minutes sitting there longer than a half hour, but, you know, with 15 more minutes to make it to an hour make that big of a difference. So that's kind of my rule of thumb, my kind of gauges that I go by, and try them out where you're at, see how they work. All right, folks, place I'm rolling up into now, shallow, back of a creek, big bowl back here. It's only about 8 feet deep where I'm at. It's kind of deep here by my standards. This is still on the deeper medium water side. I'm gonna anchor here. I'm gonna sit here about 30 minutes, talking about how long to anchor in a spot. I'm gonna sit here about 30 minutes, and then I'm moving shallower, probably moving to about maybe 3-4 feet of water. So we're gonna see what's here first, then make a move. If you look around, it's a major difference in the water quality and clarity back here. Very muddy, very muddy. It's like a dirt field. Looks like there may be a little bit of current. Obviously, there's a lot of water moving in from the creeks. This is the back of the creek. It's fed back here. So some pretty nasty looking water. We'll see if there's some catfish in it. I was kind of riding in. Didn't mark a whole lot, but that doesn't mean anything. Those fish can be anywhere out here. Depends what this did to the shad, whether it pushed them out or not, and that'll determine whether the catfish are in here. Crappie are usually in here, and that's kind of what I'm banking on, is that some of these fish are back in here shallow on their little spawning hunt. Water's around 61 degrees, so it's not exactly cold. It's in a comfortable, tolerable range, so we're gonna let them soak for about 30 minutes here. If we don't get anything, make them move back a little bit shallower, and then I'm gonna bolt out of here and go back to the river. Big fish on, big fish. Good one, good one. Heard some line screaming. I was actually got the drone up, and I had this one go off, sucking some line out. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, it's a good fish. It's a good fish. We get him with the boga. Boga's on the other side. Boga's on the other side. Got the boga. It's a good fish, good fish. Easy. Simmer down. Got it. Ah. Fish loose. Good fish. Another teener. Nice one. That. Good fish. Great fish. Let's get it back alive. Well, folks, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, and here are a couple of more videos that I think you're going to like.